Now, Hadessa is a feminine form of the word for myrtle tree. It's Hadass is the word for myrtle tree, and Hadessa is just the feminine of it, and she was a female, so it's slightly different, and that's why in Strong's it would be 1919 for Hadassah, and 1918 for myrtle tree. And myrtle tree, let's see, it's found 6 times in the Bible. The first is in Nehemiah, which is the previous book from Esther, Nehemiah 8, verse 15. And that they should publish and proclaim in all their cities and in Jerusalem, saying, Go forth unto the mount, and fetch olive branches and pine branches and myrtle branches and palm branches. And that would be to make a booth for the Feast of Tabernacles. The second time is in Isaiah 41. And verse 19, I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shittim tree, and the myrtle, and the oil tree. If you look at the context, God is opening up the gospel in a wasteland, so it's a very positive context. And the third time is in Isaiah also, in Isaiah 55, verse 13. Instead of the thorn shall come up the fir tree, and instead of the briar shall come up the myrtle tree. In all 3 instances, it's positive, because the thorn and the briar have to do with the curse. So the fir and the myrtle would be the reverse, the blessing. And in the other 3 times, it's found in the book of Zechariah. In Zechariah chapter 1, which we read last week, in verse 8 through 11, I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse, and he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom. And behind him were their red horses speckled and white. Then said I, O my Lord, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, I will show thee what these be. And the man that stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, These are they whom Jehovah has sent to walk to and fro through the earth. And they answered the angel of Jehovah that stood among the myrtle trees, and said, We have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still and is at rest. 3 times of a total of 6 myrtle trees, which is basically Esther's name, Hadass. And it's found in this one passage. It sort of reminds us of John 21, when Christ asked Peter 3 times, Do you love me? Well, here we have myrtle trees mentioned 3 times. A man standing amongst the myrtle trees said 3 times. So it's God's purpose for something related to Esther. Now, why this is significant, go to verse 7 of Zechariah 1. Upon the 4th and 20th day of the 11th month, which is the month Sebat, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of Jehovah unto Zechariah. Now, we can't really see it here. Verse 1 of Zechariah 1 speaks of the 8th month in the 2nd year of Darius. It's the 11th month, 24th day, 2nd year. It's only about 3 months later. But turn the page to Haggai. Haggai, the book right before it. And look at Haggai chapter 1. And in verse 1, in the 2nd year of Darius the king, in the 6th month, in the 1st day of the month, came the word of Jehovah by Haggai. Now, what's he said? Well, we're not going to read it all. We read it earlier. If you read it, God's talking about the heaven over you is stayed from dew. The earth is not giving its fruit. And that sounds very much like a famine that Amos 8:11 would describe, a spiritual famine. Well, why is that important? Look at verse 13 of Haggai 1. Then spake Haggai, Jehovah's messenger, and Jehovah's message unto the people, saying, I am with you, saith Jehovah. And Jehovah stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and the spirit of Joshua, the son of Joshadek, the high priest, and the spirit of all the remnant of the people. And they came and did work in the house of Jehovah of hosts their God in the 24th day of the 6th month, in the 2nd year of Darius the king. So it begins the 1st day of the 6th month, and then we read of God basically admonishing them because they've left his house lie waste while they dwell in their sealed houses. So he's stayed the dew of heaven. He's not blessed them with fruitfulness. And then through the prophesying of Haggai, the Lord's messenger, it stirs up the spirit of Zerubbabel and the spirit of Joshua the high priest, and they begin to work on the 24th day of the 6th month. And that would be 23 days later. 23 days later. Now, some people have noticed this before, and I think they've identified it with the 2300 evening mornings. But in this case, what we have is within a 23-day period, a time of God withholding the dew of heaven, or the rain, and fruitfulness. And then also, within that 23-day period, finally they're stirred up, they begin to work, and God begins to bless. All within 23 days, which reminds us of 23 years of great tribulation, that within that 23-year time, yes, there was an awful period where God was virtually not saving anyone. There was a terrible famine, and that famine remained in the churches throughout. But then there was the latter rain, and he began to send forth the gospel and greatly bless the world and saving a great multitude. All that within 23 days. Now this is in the 2nd year of Darius. It says in Haggai, again, verse 15 of Haggai 1, in the 24th day of the 6th month in the 2nd year of Darius the king, turn the page to Zechariah 1:7, upon the 24th day of the 11th month in the 2nd year of Darius. How much time has transpired? 5 months. 5 months. That was Zechariah 1 verse 7. 5 months have transpired. We can say this because it's the same year of the same king. And Haggai and Zechariah are prophesying in the same year of the same king. And it's interesting that Haggai talks about 23-day period which ends on the 24th day of the 6th month. Zechariah 1 picks up 5 months later in this verse, which would follow that 23-day period. I think we can see how it relates to our present time. We had 23 years of great tribulation, followed by 5 months, and we thought that'd be it. But by God's grace, we're going to the book of Esther, and we're learning some more things. And it so happens as we go to the book of Esther, Esther's Hebrew name, Hadassah, leads us to Zechariah 1 to precisely a point after 5 months. 3 times the name Hadassah is found in Zechariah 1 after this vision is seen on the 24th day of the 11th month. Now some people might say, now come on, you're looking at Zechariah, you're looking over at Haggai, you're piecing things together. Well, despite the fact that that's how we always learn from the Bible, there's 2 reasons why we can do this. Number 1 is that it's the same King Darius, and it's his same 2nd year. And God is the one who's giving these dates. And he's dating Haggai's book and he's dating Zechariah's book. They were contemporaries. And that's the second reason. If we go to Ezra chapter 5, in verse 1, then the prophets, Haggai the prophet, and Zechariah the son of Iddo, prophesied unto the Jews that were in Judah and Jerusalem in the name of the God of Israel, even unto them. Then rose up Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, the son of Joshadek, and began to build the house of God, which is at Jerusalem, and with them were the prophets of God helping them. God joins them together. He brings both those men together. They were alive at the same time. He moved in both of them to prophesy, to stir up the Jews of that day, to get to work, to rebuild the temple, which would be known as Zerubbabel's temple. And, you know, we can say some things absolutely right now. We can say absolutely there was a 23-day period, historically in the second year of Darius, from the 6th month, 1st day, to the 24th day, 6th month, in which there was famine, or there was God withholding blessing, and then at the very end of that period, it seems he poured out blessing. And then we can say absolutely Zechariah picks up 5 months after that and begins telling us this strange and mysterious vision, it is unusual. Nothing really stands out as you read it. We read about a man standing among myrtle trees, and there being red horses. And then the man asks, or it's asked of the angel of Jehovah, it's really Christ among the myrtle trees, it's asked of him, what are these? And then they answer, they're going to and fro through the earth. And all the earth sitteth still, and is at rest. That's important. That's important because that's after 5 months. All the earth at 23 days, followed by 5 months, and then the state